Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss about the derivation of peak time. So peak time is denoted by capital T and P, small p, okay, TP, peak time. Now here let us see the definition first. So it is a time required for the response to reach its peak value. Okay, time required for the response to reach its peak value, or in other words we can tell the time at which a response undergoes the first overshoot, and it is always a peak overshoot. You can see, let us try to understand using a graph here. So as you can see the graph, so x-axis is the time and y-axis is the c of t, which is the response. Now as you can see, the first, this red line, this is a graph, it is going like this. It is first peak overshoot. First overshoot, it is always a peak overshoot. See here, first overshoot will be always a peak overshoot, rest all it is decreasing, right? This peak is not that much as the first overshoot. So the time required, TP, here you can see the time, whatever time is there required to start from 0 to reach its peak value. See, it is reaching here, this is the peak value. From 0 to this peak value, what is the time? That is nothing but peak time. Okay, and next let us go for the derivation part. So as you know, first we have to go for C of t, the transient response of second order underdamped system we have discussed, that is equal to 1 minus e power minus zeta omega n t by under root of 1 minus zeta square into sine omega dt plus theta. Okay, so this is the transient response of second order underdamped system, and here as we know theta is nothing but tan inverse of under root of 1 minus zeta square by zeta. Okay, then for the peak time derivation, always remember what we need to do. We have to differentiate the C of t with respect to t. Remember this, differentiate C of t, this is C of t, whatever is there, we have to differentiate with respect to t, and at last you have to put t is equal to Tp. We want peak time, right? And equate it to what? 0. That's the procedure. Always remember, for peak time derivation we have to differentiate C of t with respect to t and put t is equal to Tp at last and equate it to 0. So when you differentiate with respect to t, what happens? Now look at these terms. We have to see only the t, we have to differentiate only the terms containing t. So this term is there which is containing t, this is a constant part and this is also a constant part, remember this. Okay, and here you can see sine omega d, t is there, here also t, here also t, rest all terms will be what? Constant. So you can write it as differentiation of C of t with respect to t will be equal to, this is constant differentiation will be what? Constant differentiation will be 0, so no need to write. We'll start with minus is there, e power minus zeta. So I'll do one thing, this constant is there, I'll take it outside, so 1 by 1 minus zeta square. Now we'll differentiate e power minus eta omega nt. This is actually u into v root, correct? Only these two terms are there. This is multiplication, product rule we have to apply. First term into, this is the first term, okay, this is the second term. First term into differentiation of second term, sine omega dt plus theta, what will be that? It will be cos, right? Cos omega dt plus theta into this angle you have to differentiate since it is containing t, right? So angle when you differentiate, it will be omega dt, differentiation will be what? Omega d, so into omega d, correct? Differentiation of this plus, next keep this term, second term as it is, that is sine omega dt plus theta as it is, into differentiation of e powers. First term you have to differentiate, that will be e power minus eta omega nt into differentiation of this power, that will be what? Minus eta omega n, correct? T will not be there, omega n. Okay, that's it. So this is the differentiation part. Let us now rearrange these things. Now what I'll do, I'll multiply this term inside. So what will happen? dc of t by dt and this thing you have to equate it to 0. Okay, dc of t dt is equal to, I'll multiply this inside, so what will happen, e minus e power minus eta omega n t, then cos omega dt plus theta, omega d is there, I'll bring for front, so omega d into cos omega dt plus theta, it's the same thing, divided by this 1 minus zeta square. Next, minus into here 1 minus sign is there, it will become plus. Okay, you are just multiplying it, so e power minus eta omega n t, then this part is there, eta omega n minus minus plus, okay, that's why it is plus, into sine plus theta, okay, divided by whole thing divided by 1 minus zeta square. So this will be the whole thing which you have to equate it to 0, so we need to equate it to 0. Now the next part we can go for, that is after doing all this, substituting this omega d, as we know what is omega d, it is equal to omega n into 1 minus zeta square. So we have to substitute wherever omega d is there, not in the angles. Okay, remember angle we cannot change, whereas all terms you can see omega d is there, anywhere else not there. So okay, fine, we'll substitute here. So what will happen, so that is equal to this term minus e power minus zeta omega n t into omega d is there, I'll write omega n into 1 minus zeta square into cos omega dt plus theta plus e power minus zeta omega n t into zeta omega n into sine omega dt plus theta. Now substituting, which is equal to what, so now need to put bracket and all, this is equal to 0. And one more thing, divided by is there, correct, this divided by 1 minus zeta square, and this thing divided by 1 minus zeta square. So as you can see, this 1 minus zeta square and 1 minus zeta square will get cancelled. Now next thing what I can do, so I'll just write it, minus e power minus zeta omega n t into omega n into cos omega dt plus theta plus e power minus zeta omega n into t into zeta omega n sine omega dt plus theta. No thing is that equal to 0. Only for this we have 1 minus zeta square, correct? For this we don't have, it got cancelled. Now we can take LCM, just multiply this to this. So what will happen? That is equal to multiplying this to here. So minus e power minus zeta omega n t into omega n into, I'll multiply 1 minus zeta square here, cos omega dt plus theta plus this same thing, e power minus zeta omega n t into zeta omega n into sine omega dt plus theta equal to 0, whole thing divided by 1 minus zeta square. Another thing is that we can take here from these two terms omega n and e power minus zeta omega n t common. Here you can see this thing is there, this thing common, omega n common. So that is equal to e power minus zeta omega n t and omega n I am taking common, and this thing also you can take 1 minus zeta square. Anyways, on the RHS part you have 0, so this when it goes to the RHS part it get cancelled, that's it. Okay, so it is equal to minus sign is there into 1 minus zeta square into cos omega dt plus theta plus here what is remaining, zeta into sine omega dt plus theta, that's it, equal to 0. So when this part will go to the RHS side, it is anyways it is 0, so it get what, it becomes 0 itself. Okay, so what is remaining, so I can write the dc of t by dt, which is equal to this, I'll rearrange, I can write it as this, I'll bring this side, zeta sine omega dt plus theta minus 1 minus zeta square into cos omega dt plus theta. just rearranging, okay, nothing else. So equal to 0. If that equal to 0 will remain as it is. Now next step, what I can do, I can take this term to the RHS side, so it will become plus. So see here what happens. So zeta sine omega dt plus theta is equal to, this will go to that side, it will become 1 minus zeta square into cos omega dt plus theta. Now from here, can I bring sine and cos together? What will happen? See here, sine omega dt plus theta divided by this, I bring this side, cos omega dt plus theta, which is equal to 1 minus zeta square will remain as it is. This will come down by zeta. Now from this, what is sine by cos? It is tan. So tan omega dt plus theta is equal to 1 minus zeta square by zeta. And what is this? This is nothing but, see, we have discussed what is theta. Theta is nothing but tan inverse of 1 minus zeta square by zeta, right? So from this, if I bring tan inverse this side, it will become tan theta. So tan theta is equal to 1 minus zeta square under root of that divided by zeta. So this is the same thing as this. So I can write in place of this tan theta. So this will happen. What will happen? Tan omega dt plus theta is equal to tan theta. Correct? So from trigonometric formula, as we know, tan n pi plus theta is equal to tan theta. Okay, n can be any numbers from 1 to any like positive numbers, 1 to natural numbers. Okay, n can be any natural numbers. So when I compare this and this, what will happen? See here, these both are equal. Tan omega dt plus theta is equal to tan theta, and tan n pi plus theta is equal to tan theta. So these two will be equal. Therefore I can write omega dt and n pi are equal. Omega dt is equal to n pi. Correct? Simple thing. Now omega dt is equal to n pi. What is the value of n? N is the natural numbers. But for first peak overshoot, as we discussed, first overshoot, what we have, first peak overshoot, it is nothing but n equal to 1. Okay, so we have to substitute only n equal to 1. So when I substitute here n equal to 1, this, what will happen? Omega dt is equal to, this is pi. Okay, first peak overshoot, that's why n equal to 1. Now next thing, as I said before, we have to replace t with the tp. T is equal to what? Tp. So what will happen? Omega d Tp is equal to pi. So from this, I can write Tp is equal to pi by omega d. Correct? So this will be the final formula for Tp, or in other words, what you can write, pi as it is divided by what is omega d formula? Omega d formula is omega n into 1 minus zeta square. Okay, this unit will be seconds. Tp is equal to, you can write this or you can write this, both are same itself, just replacing omega d with omega n into under root of 1 minus zeta square. So this is the derivation for peak time.